U.S. stock prices fell as the S&P 500 recorded its worst week since March 2023. Last week, the S&P 500 fell 4.3%, the Nasdaq dropped 5.8%, and the Dow Jones was down 2.9%. U.S. economic data triggered the volatility with Friday's under expectations. NFP data, 142,000 versus 164,000 expected, roiling the markets. On Thursday, OPEC stated it would delay its plans to increase oil output from October until December. Gold prices briefly came close to a fresh all-time high on Friday, but silver prices fell to a 3-week low. Platinum prices edged lower, having stuck a 5-month low midweek. Palladium prices declined and ended the week just below $900. Natural gas prices increased and hit a 3-week peak on Friday. A slew of events and economic data will keep market participants' attention this week. Monday saw the successful release of the latest Apple iPhone 16, Apple Watch, and AirPods series. Early Wednesday morning, the first presidential debate between Republican Donald Trump and Democrat Kamala Harris will take place. Crucial U.S. CPI inflation data will be released on Wednesday, which could influence the Fed's interest rate decision the following week. Adobe's stock price fell by 1.6% last week, but hit a more than 6-month high of over $586 on Tuesday. The tech company has a market share of around 80% in the graphic processing market and has been at the forefront of developing generative AI for its software like Photoshop and Illustrator. The previous earnings reported in June showed better than results with a 10% rise in revenue. Most investment banks are optimistic that Adobe's earnings due to be posted on September 12th could produce a strong result. The online marketplace stock price increased by 0.6% by close of business on Friday and came close to a more than 2-year high. eBay has somewhat fallen from favor as more rivals have entered the e-commerce space, but the company produced mostly positive earnings results alongside rising revenue. This is reflected in its stock price, which has jumped 36% so far this year. Crude oil prices dropped 6.6% last week, with oil prices hitting a 1-year low on Friday, ending just around $68. Last week, OPEC decided it would delay an output increase from October until the end of December, and U.S. inventories fell sharply, suggesting demand in the country remains high. However, the political dispute in Libya was reported to have ended, and it's expected that Libyan oil exports will return to the global market. Oil demand concerns in China and, to a lesser extent in the U.S., continue to plague oil markets. Gold prices fell slightly, by 0.2% by Friday's close, but came close to a fresh all-time high on Friday, as the commodity ended below $2,500. It was a quiet week for geopolitics, but data releases throughout the week dragged the precious metal in both directions, with the highlight being Friday's NFP and unemployment rate. A low headline NFP number initially sent gold's price higher on hopes of a sharper rate cut from the Fed, but prices fell as traders absorbed the release and expectations that the Fed will opt for a 25 basis point cut remain most likely. Natural gas prices climbed by 5% as the commodity hit a 3-week high, closing the week at $2.28. Prices extended returns after U.S. natural gas storage data came in lower than expectations, suggesting that U.S. gas demand remains strong. In the Middle East, Yemen's Houthis continue to attack container ships in the Red Sea area, which remains a shipping lane for quantities of liquid natural gas. The USD JPY declined by 2.7% and recorded a 1-month low at the end of the week, hovering above $142. Midweek, the Bank of Japan stated that the bank will continue to raise rates if the economy performs well in the upcoming period. Weaker data coming from the U.S. at the end of the week also impacted the value of the greenback.